It's a big pleasure to have you on the program today. And of course, as always, it is the polity, where we discuss all that has to do with the polity, as I always want to say it. Okay, here, I've got a guest that I always get to be happy to have on my program, and he's here again this day to thrash out something that's important we need to talk about. I am talking about Olumuyiwa Onlede. Onlede, rather. Muyiwa, good to have you on the program again. Of course, he's a public affairs analyst, and he will do justice to this again. And what are we talking about today? The Joint Action Committee of Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and National Association of Staff Unions of Universities. They have something that has been happening and talking about their protest. And so that's what we want to discuss today. The Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, of Nigerian Universities, rather, Ssanu, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Educational Associated Institutions, that is Nasu. They did declare a one-day protest for Thursday, October 9, over what they described as the federal government's persistent failure to address their long-standing demands. And the two unions operating under the Joint Action Committee, that's why we have the JAC in the first place, have directed all their branches across the country to convene emergency joint congresses. And they did that on Wednesday and mobilized members for the nationwide protest. And the action, according to them, protest marches, the union will feature protest marches within campuses and display of placards conveying their grievances and press briefings to highlight their plights. And the decision to embark on this strike was reached by JAC at its meeting held on the 6th of October, following a comprehensive review of the government's response to several ultimatums earlier issued by the unions. The union said the federal government has failed to act decisively on critical issues, including the unjust disbursement of 50 billion naira earned allowances, the delay in the renegotiation of the 2009 Federal Government of Nigeria and Nasu and Ssanu agreements, and the non-payment of outstanding 2-month salaries. They also accused the government of failing to pay arrears of 25 and 35% salary adjustments, as well as the third-party deductions from May and June of 2022. They had initially issued a 7-day ultimatum to the government on September 15, 2025, demanding urgent action on the issues. The ultimatum was later extended by another 14 days, which expired on Monday 6th of October, without any meaningful progress. And so, in a memo addressed to their branches, the chairman of universities, to the branch chairman of universities and inter-university centers nationwide, which they said commencement of protest actions dated October 6, the union decided to ask that there be full participation of its members and the commitment from all of them for this particular thing. So we want to talk about it, looking at the fact that we have had this for a long time. You see that let's take a bit of the memo. The last circular of the Joint Action Committee, JAC, of Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, and Senior Staff Societies of Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Ssanu, entitled Current Status of Agitation. He said, as Referenced in the circular, the federal government was granted a 14-day extension following the lapse of the initial 7 days to address our concerns vis-à-vis unjust disbursement of 50 billion naira and allowances, delay in negotiation of year 2009 federal government and Nasu at Ssanu agreement, non-payment of outstanding 2 months salaries and non-payment of arrears of 25% and 30% salary arrears, and non-payment of third-party deductions of the 2 months of salaries of May and June 2022. Now, the unions have noticed that the federal government seems not to be interested in talking effectively with them over the matter, and so they decided that they would do that, which was for yesterday, and further action will be taken. But we are doing this today to say, just as the topic says, we want to find out something. You know, is it a never-ending battle with the government, a never-ending situation that they are in? And considering the position of these lecturers and university staff, should we be talking about this sort of thing at a time like this in Nigeria, and looking at the percentage of that is of the budget that is dedicated to education, which should be 15%, world acclaimed 15% that it should be, but in most cases we find 5%, 7%, at most we found 12 some time ago under Goodluck Jonathan, and it's been this way. Should we really be talking about strike actions of the ones who are the custodians of the wisdom that is being released and knowledge that is being released to our children year in, year out? The ones that will become politicians, medical doctors, lawyers, broadcasters, and so on and so forth, journalists and all. Should we still be talking about the fact that these people will not be well taken care of in Nigeria at a time like this?
No. All right. Thank you, Mr. Okechukwu. Strike, protest, agitation for welfare and better working condition is something that is the exclusive right of workers. And there's nowhere in the world that you can say those things are, we can say completely that those things are inevitable. There must be strike, there must be protest. But why? Because human beings are insatiable. We are not having much of this kind of situation in developed countries. Not because we don't have lecturers there whose needs are not being met, but basically the education sector in those countries in the Western world is majorly in private hands. In private hands, not necessarily in a public control sector to a certain extent. Now, if you look at America, American government as a whole, they have less than 10 universities as a federal government. In the United States of America, they have less than 10 universities. So they have relieved themselves of the burden. Most of the universities.
Of running the universities.
They have relieved themselves.
We'll return to this point, please. Let's just take this slight break to rectify certain anomalies. We'll return immediately after that. Yes, we'll go. We'll be back soon.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television, we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television, we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet
Thank you. We're here again. We'll continue. Do bear with us. We have to sort things out and to ensure that the best will come to you even as you're watching us on this program. It's still the polity, and I'm still speaking. Okay, it's going over here, of course. Still talking with my guest there, Olumuyiwa Onlede.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure having him. And our topic still remains the jack of Ssanu and Nasu. We want to find out why their protest, why it has to continue like that. And so you were telling me something. You were saying that America, they have just very few universities owned by the government, federal universities.
Less than 10. Less than 10. Most of the popular universities we hear about in the United States of America, privately owned universities by organizations, institutions, maybe religious bodies, and so on and so forth. But that has substantially reduced the burden from
on the government.
On the government, you know. But here we have a very big burden. We had a lot before established. A lot of universities established during the military junta. Now we're in democracy and civilian rule. We have more coming because number one, the National Assembly members, they believe that the only thing they can do to please their people
is to
guarantee re-election and political popularity and sagacity
and relevance
is to attract federal institutions to their constituency and senatorial districts, and mostly these universities. So that is why in some states we have 2 federal universities. Our universities became what we cannot explain after most of them abandoned their original mandate and in search for fund and money that may not necessarily go back to government coffers anyway. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You see, most universities of agriculture, go there, those universities were established to train people that would develop our agricultural sector.
Yes.
University of Science and Technologies, they were established to train experts in the area of science and technology so that we will not miss out in the Industrial Revolution. But not only that we are missed out in the Industrial Revolution, the universities have become universities of humanities and social sciences. If you go to those schools, those universities, you see that we have more, those that are Greek universities, we have more students. We have more students admitted to study social sciences and humanity than we have students admitted to study agriculture. Same in Science and Technology University. So the situation in our hand is very obvious that we have a very big problem. And number 2, we have a situation whereby, you know, that sector is a sector that is supposed to be substantially determined by interest. You know, you don't go and become a lecturer because that is what is available for you to do. Maybe your uncle is a big politician and he has the power to put 1 or 2 candidates in the university as whether as lecturer or as non-academic staff.
Yes.
No, the participation in those sectors, they are supposed to be interest-driven. Interest-driven. But it is not so. So there's nowhere in the world that wants and needs is satiable. People's needs and wants are insatiable. They will always have for more. But how do we now deal with this as a government? How is the government supposed to deal with it, since we have determined for ourselves that our problem is this and that? How do we deal with it? Now, that is where the government is not getting it right. Because if you look at so many agreements that the Ssanu and Nasu are talking about, most of them are dated back to 2009. That is more than a decade.
Yes.
You know, and it has not been resolved up to today. So now, maybe accumulation of those problems, allowances, and so on and so forth, may be too much for government to handle at a time, at once. So what are they supposed to do? That is why I love the fact that it's a joint action committee that is negotiating. Because what we had in the past is that ASU will go on strike, then government will go
and sort them out.
Then Ssanu
will go on strike.
We go on strike after 2-3 weeks.
Yes.
You know, now let them negotiate. Let everybody tender his own agreement.
Yes,
Let's see what the government can do on the side of ASU, on the side of Ssanu. Let's see. Let government prioritize their needs and their demands, and let there be an agreement within the period of 5-6 years. We are going to handle this year, this next year, and so on and so forth. Let there be, you know, a compromise between government and these unions. Because what I'm very sure of is that government cannot handle everything at a time. At once, it's not possible. So let there be an agreement, let them negotiate jointly the way they are doing, and let there be an agreement between them and the government. What is supposed to be done in the year 2025, let it be done by government. Let Ssanu or Ssanu accept, and what is going to be done in 2026. I believe the only way out of this problem is for both of them to segment the demands. Segment the demands and give them, prioritize them, so that whenever it is time to do this, Nasu, Ssanu, and the government will know it is time to do this.
Yes.
Instead of them hoping the government will solve the problem at once.
You see, that is the problem here, because the Nasu, that's Non-Academic Staff Union of universities, that is also part of this, along with Ssanu and all that. They have not even said that government should give them everything. But the fact is that government has not responded to their plight, to their request and to their problem. Because can you imagine that, talking about 2009, what happened in 2009 is what is still being brought forth all these years up to 2025.
2025.
So many years, you can't talk about
60
that.
years.
And they have left this thing, instead of, even if they had started handling a bit of it, they started handling it bit by bit, maybe by now they would have been through with it. Because government is a continuum, as I keep saying.
Yes.
It doesn't matter that they are not the ones, but the ones that were there, yes, it was still government. Just as we have heard that the minister said to them that they only are only acting on a gentleman's agreement, so it was not written anywhere. Even at that, why should it not be what should be handled at a time like this? Like that of the outstanding 2-month salaries, non-payment of that outstanding. If we had said, okay, let's pay the outstanding 2-month salaries that were owed for so long ago, that would have helped them feel better. Or the arrears of 25% increase or 35% salary arrears that we all had in this country that happened then. Like if government will say, okay, let's sort out the 25% one, wait for the 35% some other time. Maybe in the next 2 years, let's start talking about the 35%. But now let's handle 25% and that outstanding 2-month salary. I don't think these people would have been making this, talking about this thing, and there wouldn't have been any hullabaloo about this thing at a time like this. But the fact is that it looks like they're not even listening to them. Do you advise them now to jettison this thing and look for private universities and start working there? Because their money seems to have gone into voicemail. Or do they continue to struggle for this, hoping that it will happen? That's what I'm thinking anyway. So let's talk about that.
That is not an option. That is not an option. When we talk about, when we started, I talk about private universities in Western world. You cannot compare what a private university is in the Western world and what a private university is here. Private university here in Nigeria is a cage. Sorry to say, it's a cage to the lecturers and even non-academic staff. So what will be the, what are they going to get better services? Are they going to get better treatment, fringe benefits, better welfare in private universities? No. The answer is technically no. It's not so. So if everybody decides to leave public schools, we will not be there. We will not be there to lecture. We will not be there to do the admin work. We will not be there to do other things. But what I want ASU and some other staffs around academic environment to do is, you look at what is obtainable in other countries, your counterparts in other countries. Like, we've always agitated for research-based academic environment in Nigeria, and that is a problem. If each and every lecturer and most people in the academic environment, if they involve in research, which I believe and I know that there are funds available, either from TED Fund, other international NGOs and international communities, they are ready to fund viable research that they believe will be for the betterment of the country and the world at large. But we are not saying that. We are not saying that. we had the opportunity of speaking to Professor Buguru, who was secretary of Church Fund some years ago, and he said something that baffled every one of us. He said they have money in Church Fund for research, but the criteria to meet up with the, with assessing the money.
Yes,
it's
what most of them together. There are so many bottlenecks that will make it almost impossible for them.
Research is about bottleneck, and if you are running away from bottlenecks to get from to go and engage in solving bottleneck problems, then you are not ready for it. He said something that. Then another year came. He wasn't the one that said it. Another year came. I said, most funds disbursed to lecturers for research, those lecturers ended up buying houses and cars. It's so pathetic. So that means if you are giving money to do research, to conduct research, and you used to buy car and house, that means you are not even fit to be in the academic
there in the first place. Yes,
and that is where our problem comes. Recruitment into those institutions is a very big problem. Recruitment into those institutions is a very big problem. People who do not have passion for education, they find themselves in the academic environment. And most of those people, they have overshadowed those that have passion. There are lecturers that, whether school is on strike, whether school is on break, they go to their offices every day and they are seen doing one thing or the other. When I was in the university, I had the opportunity of staying throughout vacation in school. And I see lecturers dedicated without control from anybody, doing one thing or the other. Those are people that have passion for this job. Unfortunately, those without passion, they have dominated those with passion. So we have problems generally around our academic environment. The government has a problem. By not listening to the staffs is a very big problem. The Minister of Education, the Minister of Labour and Productivity should come out with emphatic statements to put everything at rest. This is the agreement. If they are going to renegotiate the agreement, let it be so. Let them renegotiate the agreement, but nobody wants to be ignored. If you are ignoring people, you have promised 25%, you have promised 35%, none of them has been given to them. In other sectors, maybe workers there, they have assessed what these people are agitating for, and you want them to keep quiet. They will not keep quiet. You have to attend to them. But maybe instrumentally, or that one way or the other, they must be attended to. People want to be patronized. And that is what I think is the problem. If they are not being patronized by the government, then the government is on the wrong side. If they are being patronized and they are not ready to shift ground, they are not ready to shift ground, they are not ready to renegotiate based on what is obtainable economically with the government, then the lecturers and the senior staff association, they are not being sincere with the reality, because they are supposed to know better. So, if the government must shift ground, must attend to them, then the unions must shift.
Yes, I think the unionists want to shift ground.
They must shift ground.
The government is not giving them any option.
They must.
You see, this protest, which was the first coordinated action by both Ssanu and Nasu, just as you mentioned that they are doing it together now, that is better, in 2025. It featured campus marches, placard displays, and press briefings. The unions warned that if their demands are not met, they may proceed with an indefinite strike, which could disrupt academic activities in Nigerian universities. Do we have to wait for this to happen in Nigeria? Why shouldn't the government and government, whoever that is supposed to handle this matter, do something now? Because they've been making this noise, they've been talking, and there seems to be no response. Not when they now call for the main strike action, people will start shouting. And then people will be told, try and talk to them because we have children there. Is it not because that most of these people in government don't even have their children in schools, Nigerian universities?
I can tell you that most people in government, they have their children in Nigerian universities. Especially if you go to the northern part of this country.
They do?
They have their children in these universities.
Then it baffles me that they are there.
Whether governors, whether aides to president, whether aides to vice president, whether ministers, whether House of Assembly members, whether House of Rep members, whether senators, they have their children in those universities. I'm talking about northern part.
But mainly the private universities.
No.
Okay.
Government-owned universities.
Okay.
They have their children in those schools. They have their children. Most northern politicians have their children schooling in Nigeria. Most of them. There are some of them with their children schooling in another part of the world. But I can tell you that more than us in the south, they have their children in their region studying. More than we in the south have our children in the south studying.
Okay.
So that is not an excuse. Whether you have your children schooling in in Nigeria or not. That's not even a problem. To me, that is not even a problem, because from before independence, we've always had Nigerians go abroad to study. Yes, and most of the people that led the fight for independence were people that studied outside the country. And as a then, it was a way to keep them quiet, to keep them shut from agitating for independence.
Yeah, exactly.
But the British thought they were making
it backfired.
Never did they know that they were making individuals that will later be the catalyst for the decolonization of Nigeria. And so the rest is history. Yeah. So schooling abroad, it's not a problem. But doing what you are supposed to do, there is a schedule. As Minister of Education, you have a schedule. You have handover note that was handed over to you when you took over from your predecessor. Now, you are supposed to start solving problem from day one. You understand? But unfortunately, what we have in this country is leaders. Immediately somebody is appointed to a political office, congratulatory messages, physical visits.
Yes.
We follow. People look at the economic benefit in those offices than the problem they are supposed to solve. And
I must say that also many of them that are in there are also looking out for those benefits more than the work they've come to do.
I met a minister and he told me that his blood pressure has gone up. After taking office, his blood pressure has gone up. And he did not just start politics. He has been in politics for a very long time. But he can tell me categorically that his blood pressure has gone up. I say, it has to be like that, because there are a lot of problems. If you are able to stabilize the ministry, I told him, you are able to stabilize the ministry and people can see impactful leadership within the next 6 months, your blood pressure will be stable. If you stabilize that place, but if you fail to stabilize the place, your blood pressure will not be stable, because people will continue to agitate, people will continue to shout, people will continue to talk in a negative and hilly manner, so that you will not have anywhere to hide. You understand? And if you think whether social media, whether mainstream media, whether these people are not seeing or they are not hearing, no, it's a lie. They hear and they see. But the will to do what is right is what we are telling them to imbibe in. Imbibe in the spirit of problem solving. Because it is quite unfortunately where you have senior staff associations saying the government, and who is that government? The Minister of Education, of course, and the Minister of Labour and Productivity, Labour and Employment. They say they have refused to listen to them. Then what is now the job of the Minister of Education? What is now the job of the Minister of Labour? If you are not listening to those you are appointed to listen to. So it's a very big problem. We mustn't wait until there is strike. Then students schooling in different parts of the country will now be traveling to their various homes. Bad roads, accidents,
kidnapping,
so
and all that.
Let there be smooth education system. We don't believe that by 2025 we will still be talking about all these issues of ASU strike, 2009 agreement not implemented. No, I believe by now we are supposed to be saying, we are celebrating 5 years of uninterrupted academic sessions in Nigeria.
Even 15
but
years.
Unfortunately, that the reverse is the case. So the government must look into the demands and trash every agreement with the unions. So that is my submission.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll still continue to talk about this on this program today, but then we'll ask that our dear viewer would also make the viewer's contribution. So at a time like this, we'll let you see the phone line. Please do call and make it as brief as possible. And please let there not be any foul words used. Talk to us, tell us what you think about it. Advise the government if you want, or if you like. Advise Nasu, advise Ssanu, advise all. And let's see how it goes. The number is on your screen. Please do call us and let us speak and get to know what you think about it. And let's go together with you, because of course this program is your program. In most cases, we let it be so that you make your contribution effectively. You must not just come into the studio, but you can come to the studio from your headset and make your contribution, and your message will be widely expressed, even as we are on a very long, wide coverage station, talking about the station itself, KAFTAN television. Okay, now, as I said, we find this happen. Looking at the private institutions, private universities, we've not heard about strike actions in any of them. Do you think that this not hearing of strike actions in these private universities is as a result of the fact that they are well paid? I mean, the workers there are well paid, or as a result of the fact that the members are not members of any union, so that nobody will disturb them? Or is it that they have chosen to do the path of peace on a constant note? And that's why all this we're talking about, this Ssanu, Nasu, ASU, and all, they are talking about government universities. The private ones are not there. Why do you think it is so now?
Number one, the lecturers and non-academic staff in private universities, they are not under any union. I don't think they are allowed to join unions. And this is so because at the advent of the proliferation of private universities, let me use that word, it's more expensive. Those that started it were religious-based organizations. And they were wise enough to state their terms and conditions for you to come and work with them. You understand? Because what necessitated private university in Nigeria is because of these same strike actions, students losing a whole academic session due to strike. A 4-year course becomes 5-6 years course.
Even 7.
That is what brought about the issue of private universities firstly by religious-based institutions. And they believe that whether the government is right or wrong, at times there are excesses on the side of the unions. So they were wise enough to say, come, if you are coming to work with us, you are not going to join any union. No union is permitted. Whether as a student, no union is permitted. Whether as lecturers, as staffs, no union is permitted. In some private universities, no student is even allowed to stay outside the campus. No student is allowed to stay outside the campus. So you are there within the period of a semester to only listen to the school, listen to your lecturer, and listen to non-academic staffs. You are not allowed to listen to students from other schools except during break to know what they are doing there. That is different from what they are doing. And they have been able to maintain that, and they have been able to graduate students that are doing well.
Yes.
Exceptionally well. you know, in the larger society. So it's working. So the idea of union in those schools does not even arise. It's the lecturers there. It's not as if they are paid more than those in government universities. No. It's not as if their welfare is better than that of those in government universities. No. But they are not, they are limited. Their agitation is limited to individual agitation within the university, not as a union. So if they are allowed to join union today, I can assure you that there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem because no matter, no amount of money can be paid an individual that will satisfy him. You know, human needs are insatiable. More money, more problem. You know, but because of the system, it is a system. Whether unionists will say it is right or wrong, I'm not here to say that. But the system in private universities is that you cannot unionize the staffs and the students, and it's working for them because we have several seen schools like Govt University becoming the best university in Nigeria. So the template is working for them. So, and I can tell you that most lecturers in private universities, if they have the opportunity today to go to public universities, they will do that without hesitation. They will do that without hesitation.
But they don't have the opportunity because of the fact that the money that they need to be paid may not come. Is it?
No.
So why?
Getting job in government, it's
a difficult thing.
Yes.
I see.
You must know who know somebody that knows somebody. You know, where it is easy for some people, it is difficult for some people. So, if they have the opportunity today, they are going to seize the opportunity. I can assure you that. That is to tell you that we must look at the essence of the unions in the first place. The unionists must look at the essence of the university. They must look at the essence of the union. They must look at the university from the perspective of the students, innocent students in those universities. Because when we talk about government, when we say the government has not done what it's supposed to do, talking about the ministers, both Labour and Minister of Education, we must also look at the unionists too. They must look at the university, not based on the owners of the university, which is the government. They must look at the university from the angle of the students, who will bear the brunt at every point in time. Yes. Whenever there is strike, whenever there is disruption in academic exercise, the students will bear the brunt. Yes. Because I can tell you for free that in most public universities, there are people that throughout a semester, they will not be able to hit 3 square meal, 2 square meal. They are there. There are people whose school fees are being paid with borrowed funds. So the longer they stay within the academic environment, the more debts their parents enter into to see them through school. And Nigeria, we believe in education, which is good anyway. We do not believe in skill. That's why everybody is running to schools, polytechnics, college of education, health technology, universities. So we must, as unionists, the unionists must look at the students and look at ways of negotiating in such a way that at no point in time will negotiation collapse. At no point in time will it be very difficult for implementation of every agreed terms and conditions. Because that is one thing. Just like an architect, there are architects that can draw a plan for a builder, and the builder will look at this plan and say, this is not buildable. You know, this is not buildable. So they must look at those universities from the perspective of the student. The student bear the brunt. They are our children, they are our brothers, they are our sisters. They bear the brunt. The government has nothing or little to lose by some of these strike actions, you know, but the student has a lot to lose.
Well, I want to say that what you're saying, yes, I agree, especially as it affects the private universities and the individual lecturers themselves. But the question is the government looking at these points you have raised? Because if the government is looking at it, the government would have made some effort for all this long. It's been a long time, and nothing seems to be happening. Can we advise the government, in the interest of these children you just mentioned, who are our children and our relatives, to start now to do something?
Yes. We have to continue to plead with the government, because everything must not be war. It is better with Jojo than to war. That's the language within the labor union.
Yes.
And I believe in that language, and I believe doing the right thing at the right time is better than doing the right thing at a very wrong time. Doing the right thing at the right time means averting every situation that would disrupt academic exercise in all our universities. Instead of allowing situations that that will disrupt academic programs and exercise in our universities, then we now come to round table to discuss, then people start coming back again. It doesn't make much sense, whether academically or otherwise, or economically or in any form. It doesn't, in every ramification, it doesn't make any sense. So it's better to avert. We said prevention is better than cure. It's better to avert, because nobody will have said he did not hear that Ssanu is saying we are being ignored. We are being ignored. That is one of the major constituency of the ministers, the two ministers, labor and education. So if they say they didn't hear, so what are they hearing? If ordinary Nigerians can hear the cry of these employees,
yes,
so they should hear and they should do something. You understand? Now they have come together as joint action committee, which is a very good one, so that you don't have to have numerous negotiations. You are negotiating with this one on one hand, you are negotiating with another on the other hand. Now this is a consortium of unions. Now you negotiate with them. Let this union shift ground in this aspect. Let this shift ground in this aspect, because at times you negotiate with, even in the health sector, you negotiate with this union, you come to compromise, then you agree, you sign agreement, then the other union raises objection to what you have signed. You have sidelined us. You have not put us in this in your agreement.
Yes.
I remember it happened in the health sector, where they say, oh, it is not only medical doctors that are supposed to be chief medical directors, and other science lab technicians. They started making trouble. Then, with the government. Now, how can you sign a thing like this that will make us subordinates
or even irrelevant?
So, we love the way they are negotiating together, but the government should speed up the negotiation, come to compromise, and let there be peace within the academic environment. Let there be smooth running of our universities for the benefit and the betterment of our students and their parents, who are in charge of paying the school fees.
Okay. Well, we are still here talking about the JAC of, that is Joint Action Committee of Ssanu and Nasu, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, and their counterpart, that is the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, Nasu. Our wish, our prayer, our hope is that we do not get to have another strike action that will keep our children at home, prevent them from going ahead to do what they ought to do, and prevent them from graduating at the right time. Let's not go back to such days as we had in the past, but let it be that you can, in Nigeria, determine when your child will come out from the university, from the moment the child goes into the university, knowing the program and forgetting about any strike action. But these days, you don't say bearing strike action, my child will come out at a time like this, because it's most likely that we will still have it. We can do something. Nigeria can come together to ensure that strike actions will be stories of the past, that children will go to school, especially to universities, and know when to come out. And budgetary allocation is made by the parents. Plans and programming are carried out by parents. Well, borrowing goes on by some, and they will say, let's do this. I know that within the next 4 years, this will be done. And some people will decide to sell one property or the other, so as to, or even to mortgage one or the other, so as to be able to take care of their children for the number of years they will be in the university, 4 in most cases, 5 and 6 in some cases, like 5 for law and 6 for medicine, and then 4 for others. You see that these are things that could be arranged. Parents could sit back and arrange and plan and say, okay, this is how it will be. So, you know, before even embarking on it at all. But when these strike actions come, when these delays come, when these preventive measures, I will call them, begin to play out, it will affect the parent that has arranged and made plans for how to take care of them, to offset the bills that will come from being in school for their children. Let's consider all these. And of course, some parents will take their children being in the universities as a lifetime investment, investment that will finish and they will keep reaping from, because they believe their children will start work somewhere and start taking care of them. They will put in everything they have to ensure that this happens. But when there is this problem that the government has refused to pay even the lecturers and the non-academic staff members, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a serious problem, because it will not make it impossible for any of these children to graduate as and when due. So our prayer is that the government will hear. Ministry of Labor and Productivity, Ministry of Education. These are the two major ministries that
they will hear and act.
Yes, they will hear.
Not only hear.
Yes, let them hear and let them take action with immediate effect, because the impact is much more dangerous than waiting to go inside it. Yes, than wait to go inside it. And then I want to say, you know, some of these funds that were kept for a long time, for like a TED fund and other, you know, they're talking about even wiping some of them, and all these funds. If the states cannot access these funds, then let government take these funds now and use this fund to sort out these things. Let's rest once and for all and wait for another one that will come in for it. Some people may laugh at this, but then honestly, I'm after the fact that
this is diversion of appropriation.
Yes,
it's appropriated for.
Let it stop being appropriated for that, and let them put it there. Because after all, I must tell you, all this, the researches we've seen happen in this country, they have carried out, that have been carried out by many universities. They will show us when there is any educational fair. They will show us the things that they have succeeded in doing, and it will end at that point. It doesn't go further. Hey, someone manufactured, an institution organized a system by which or through which someone can cook food, and there will be.
Like we would have thought by today, 2025, this year, our economy will be a research-based economy.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, it's not so.
It's not so.
Most of those within the academic environment that try to make 1 or 2 researches, those things have ended up in the libraries.
In the libraries, and most of them are the things that would have been brought into the market,
that's why we are saying
developed.
We want a country that researches made by academicians will be follow in the libraries,
work, not just
utilized by a political class.
Yes,
for the betterment of the life of the people.
I remember one I saw then.
Politicians are not looking at it that way.
They are not.
You know,
one that someone produced a kind of cooking facility that will eliminate excess use of excess spending of money on gas and all these things. They did it something beautiful, a university. And we were thinking, okay, by then, soon it will become a commercialized thing so that people will start making use of them. You know, we didn't see.
You know, our problem
and so many others.
Having political independence, we don't have economic independence. So it's quite unfortunate that most of this fight by those inventors they believe it's a local fight within the government. No, it's not so.
It's not.
The puppeteers are somewhere. The puppets are the ones used to fight those innovations so that they will not see the light of the day within this country, and not only Nigeria, African countries. But the puppeteers, they are somewhere. Because if today Africa decide to take our place among Committee of Nations, among other continents will become what Africa is today. Because if there's nothing in Africa, if there's nothing in Nigeria, I don't know why the foreign policy of United Kingdom, foreign policy of United States of America, we specifically talk about our countries. You know, you must, for you to win election in America, you must talk about foreign policies. How you intend to indirectly rule other countries, especially African countries, and bring the benefit to America. Those are the things. Most of the monies used for free health care in the United Kingdom are being extorted by the government from our immigrants. Those migrating to those countries pay those monies that they are using for free health for their people. And we don't see it that way. We see it as nothing because we are desperate to live a country that holds no hope for us. You know, Africa is so blessed with resources, with people, but unfortunately, whatever that is deposited in a man, immediately he enters any government office, those ideas evaporate immediately. And those that knows what to do before getting into positions, after getting into those positions, they no longer know what to do until they leave the position. Then they now sit where they are playing draft and say, if I had known when I was there, I would have done this, I would have done that.
Even the ones that, even some that knew what to do, so we will consider the government, so much money they spend to get into such positions.
We talk about government, we are the government. Because tomorrow, Mr. Okechukwu, tomorrow you may be called to be the spokesperson of a minister. So the leaders are chosen from the citizens. So why is it now that from 1960 to date, different people, different leaders, different cabinets around the leaders, different, personal assistants and essays to the leaders from 1960 to date. But Nigeria problem continues to remain the same. So there is a problem with the people. Reorientation. We must reorient ourselves. We must know what we want. We cannot divulge human beings and personal interest. But where we have problem is when personal interest supersede the public interest. That is where we have problem. Whoever takes his personal interest to any government office and insubordinates public interest under his personal interest will never perform in that office. There's no two way about it. The best way to fail in a government office is to subordinate the interest for which you are being appointed for your own personal interest.
This is what they have been doing. This is what we've been seeing for a long time in the country today. It's been there and it's extremely unfortunate. So well, that is it. Looking at all that we have seen today, dear viewer, it's important that we all plead with the government and the government officials, especially those who are in power at a time like this, because like Onede would say, we are all the government. But then there are some people that have been placed in power at every moment in time who are the ones that will do all the work that should be done. Anyone that can speak to them, please do, because our children, our youths, are the ones that will suffer for this. It's true that some parents, because of the kind of thing that happened, they will have heart attack and some will die and go, but their children are the ones that will still suffer, because that's why we will see some people become, kidnappers, if you like, and something like that, because they've seen, well, since this one is not working, let's look for something else from where we will make money and take care of ourselves. And let these age parents of ours that have suffered for us to get us a good education. These are the things we must work in. We must work on and work at to ensure that we'll have peace in our land. Because security, peace, that we're talking about today, it will never be made better if we continue with this situation. If this situation happens, and there is another strike action, then you will see that some of these children who are supposed to have gone to school will be lured into negativity, especially the one that is referred to as the Yahoo and Yahoo Plus and all that. If their brains are being effectively utilized, put at work, put to work, and productively, yes, they will not have time for these others. That's the point.
There are some of them that will never change.
Okay.
There are some of them that will never change.
No matter what happens.
Because if you are sincere to parents, it's not every child's excesses that you blame on the father.
Yes.
Because in a family where we have 3, 4 children,
yes,
and one decided to
become a negative fellow.
So if you blame the father, so will you also thank the father for the 3
that have been behaving well?
What happened between parenting that one and parenting the other ones?
The other 3 that have behaved well, yes.
You know, it's great. Americans and Europeans, they look at life, and life determines itself generally, naturally, sorry to say. When you are 18 in those countries,
you are free.
Think, yes, I'm no longer a minor.
Yes.
I can take decision. And from that day, you have taken that decision, automatically you go and get a job, you are getting people, you can pay for house. Whatever you do, you are answerable to it.
Yes.
Whatever you do, nobody, no authority will go to your parents. You have to face the music.
Yes, it's your creativity yourself.
You understand? You have to face the music. And here, it's not so. In Africa, you see a man of 35 years still in the father's house, and still threatening. 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, they have not make food for him.
No breakfast, yes.
He's still threatening the parents. So you can't do that in other countries.
No.
That is why I always tell my friends that Africans are the most responsible parents.
Yes.
We are the most responsible parents, because, and I have my reasons for that. If you are in Europe, basic education is free, primary, secondary, free. But after that, if you decide to go to college or to go to university, any institution at all,
you work and pay for yourself,
pay, or you take loan
from the government.
So we have a situation whereby in Western world, 80% of the parents, they never paid any school fees for their children. 80% of the parents, and you can quote me anywhere. Whether I'm wrong, I will apologize. But 80% of parents in Western world, they pay no school fees for their children. You see in Nigeria, you pay for primary, you pay for secondary, you pay for universities, you pay for masters.
Yes.
Those that are even well to do, they send their children outside the country to do masters. And some of them even fund extravagant life of those children outside the country when they're doing masters. You look, I give you an example of those 2 security guards in one eatery that were dancing when they're supposed to be working, and they were sacked by the authority of the eatery.
Yes.
And one pastor,
took
Pastor
them.
Chibuso,
in Port Harcourt,
took them and sent them to
abroad
to school. They started digesting and started drinking, and that is a typical African system. You understand? That's a typical African system. There's no way you can blame the pastor for that. There's no way you can blame the pastor. He has done well to help them. Just the way, I'm just trying to paint a picture that we must not at all time blame government for everything. Let us believe we are in this together. If somebody is a pastor, righteous one, that does not believe anything apart from the word of God, and the daughter decides to go and get pregnant outside wedlock, then you blame the pastor for it. No, that is not so. That is not so. That is not so. People must be able to account for their deeds as long as they are adults. When you are 18, you account for whatever you do.
Well, I wonder if such a thing starts happening in Nigeria, that when somebody gets to be 18 years of age, he'll be free to take decisions and do things. What it will be like? Because the enabling environment is not there. The enabling environment is not there.
Environment is not there, but like one of my pastors will always say, that you are a graduate, you wake up, you sleep, you are not doing anything, you say there's no job. You stroll around your area. You see where they are building house. You tell them, I want to work, I want to carry block. So if you carry block, you are helping your health. You sweat, you are helping your health. Yeah. Then they give you 1,000.
You are helping your pockets.
That 1,000 is something for you. That 1,000 is bigger than 10,000 that somebody gives to you for free. That is your sweat. But so many people will not do that. So many people will not do that. Like people like us, we know where we started from. After graduating,
yes,
you know, they say there's no job. We got a contract job. Then we said, no, we are going to do it. When I was being interviewed, the interviewer said, are you sure it's something you'll be able to do? I said, why not? Why not? People must do this job, and I want to be part of the people that will do it.
That will do it.
I started from there. I was promoted to some certain level, you know. So we must also, even as we agitate for ASU to look at universities from the perspective of the student and the parent, and we are pleading with the government to listen to these unions, Nasu and Ssanu. We are pleading with government to listen to them and avert every possible strike action and destruction of academic system. We must also talk to the students too, that going to school is not just going to obtain certificate alone. You must develop yourself to be worthy of whatever job you apply for outside the school. The larger society is saturated with so many certificates. There are people with 3, 5 certificates, no job. But there are exceptional people that wherever they submit their CV and they have the opportunity of being called, they will definitely be engaged. There are people are getting job today. People are getting jobs today. We are getting remote job today.
Yes.
There are trainings you do online.
Yes.
There are trainings you do online, workforce and the rest of them. Artificial intelligence is what we are talking about now.
Yes.
You understand? And you get remote jobs.
Yes.
You know, I've seen people apply in medical area. I've seen people apply in Nigeria. They got job in United Kingdom, visa free. I saw a guy, the ticket was paid for. Our ticket was paid for. Can you imagine that? Our ticket was paid for. Because he did exceptionally well in the interview. You understand? I've seen somebody in the UK too, you know, she was employed. But when she started the job, she was not doing well. She was not doing well. Then the employer said, oh, I'm not going to fire you, but I'm going to take you to another department, which is less, you know, less lucrative and less of standard to where you are now. She said she wouldn't mind, and you know, she started working. That if you learn with time, you come back to your original position. But because of you, we cannot jeopardize the vision of the organization. So that is it. We must build ourselves to conform with the reality that there are no jobs. People are talking about Internet of Things, artificial intelligence now, and some graduates, some undergraduates, they don't look at it and say, well, who that want help? It helps a lot.
It helps a lot.
Self-development helps a lot. You can't rely on what you are taught in the school alone to succeed in the larger society.
There is need for a lot more, including entrepreneurship, that will help someone while doing things, because these things all pay one way or the other.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. We have been talking about the Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Ssanu, and the Union of the National Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, Nasu. The protest they have had and the impact that could come from it if nothing is done by the government. So we have tried to look at it and to see also the pains of the parents that would have to keep their children at home beyond what it should be, and also the resultant effect it will have on the children, on the people that are supposed to, on the youths that are supposed to be in school, that wouldn't be in school. Not to talk of the impact it will also have on the teachers, lecturers themselves, because they themselves are parents as well, and for them to be able to feed their families and take care of their people. And looking at all of this, we've concluded with the fact that we need to plead with the government and people involved in the corridors of power to ensure that something is done. Let there be a shifting of ground for the government so as to help and ensure that peace prevails above all else
in our academic environment.
In our academic environment, because it will help to take away a lot of problems. But when it is allowed to happen, banditry will definitely be on the increase. A lot of other things will be on the increase. A lot of evil will keep growing. But with this, it will help bring things down. That's how we want to say that it's been wonderful sharing the moments with you. And I wouldn't fail to say thank you again to my great guest, who each time he comes here will share time and share moments and discuss things that will help to put our nation in the right position.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Onlede.
Thank you, Mr. Kuchuku.
Thank you so much. It's a big pleasure. And please do oblige me, because we'll still call you many more times on this program.
I'll be willing to.
Right. Thank you so much. Right. Thank you so much.
Time.
Well, dear viewer, thank you too for being there for us and being part of what we've done today. Without you, we wouldn't have done anything. Though it's quite unusual and quite a pity we couldn't get to have any caller call in today. Maybe it could be a network problem or any other thing. We hope that next time we will have callers so as to be able to bring forth what you have in mind and let it be made public for all to understand. I want to thank you so much for being there. Please come again some other time. And to my colleagues with whom I've worked today, not forgetting, starting with Ephraim, who has helped me and on the day to be here to prepare. He has prepared us to come and sit and talk. I won't forget to say that. Ephraim Omona, thank you so much. Thank you also to Sam, talking about Samuel, who has also helped the same way. Samuel Wankwo, thank you so much. Let me also thank Eukarya Onyeneke, as well as Mr. D, the double D, Divine Dabrilara. I also want to thank Victor Chizea, as well as Victor Adeyeye. Thanks to all of you for helping us put this work together, and not forgetting Esther Abraham. This is Okechukwu Onubogo, and what do I say? On behalf of the producer of this program, Ruben Okala, I say, may the best happen to us all the time.